And welcome back to Crescentvaults. Last time we got our third artifact. Ooh, Royal Jelly. And you'll notice that our mayor has banned certain exports. Let's check them out. Export of leggings. I did not plan to export, but it's still slightly annoying that he would restrict me. And let's make some hives. Hives. I had to. Sorry. More hives. Thankfully our bees are not stinging everyone incessantly, so we don't have that many unhappy thoughts. About bees, at least. I really wish there was a mod about bees. Like there's these demonic bees that can actually inflict syndromes on people after they're stung. Special kinds of honey that you can only get from good or bad biomes. To me, he implemented the system, but it doesn't have a lot of depth, but it has a lot of potential. This is a fantasy world, so a fantasy world has all sorts of things that it's capable of that you can't really get with other settings, and I'd like to see stuff like that. Minecraft had this mod called Forestry and Extra Bees that let bees do a ton more different things, and to me, it was a needed change. Okay, it wasn't necessary, but it was fun. Okay, let's dig V. We need more tetrahedrite because we're smelting tetrahedrite so much because we don't need fuel. Not only do we not need fuel, but our bark is rich in tetrahedrite. Yeah, and I really like our temple. You know what? Let's do an overview of the temple. Okay, first, this is Alaron Killer Ocker. This is no specific deity, but it's also the fanciest with the gem windows. One of them actually shimmers. And this is the highest temple to Dishmab, our queen's deity, and the sunroof. So it's a nice little project. It took way too long because I had to cycle through so many statues. You would not believe the headaches I had to endure. Okay, and we have a little statue to our mayor. I'm settling of Dwarf. Okay, this is how our mayor settled into our fortress, but it's not depicting how they send it to the mayor. But it's a nice little touch, like a little story from rags to riches. And the next copper statue is being made, and our weaponsmith is only a competent weaponsmith, even though he's been forging copper spears like a boss. So I guess we'll have to see where everything ends up. Because I am forging so many copper spears. We are going to make bank when that trade caravan finally makes it. And you'll see that we are still attempting to make our super tavern. Let's make a bridge. One can never be too careful when it comes to Dwarf Fortress. That tends to get your dwarves killed. Is that being raised right? This is why I don't like sideways. Okay. Raise like this? That's how you do it, right? Okay, let's try it like this. If dwarves die because of my carelessness. Well, we have a couple of spares now that we have 50 dwarves. And the pup-splosion is still happening. Thankfully, it's not a cat-splosion. Our cat population is relatively stable, but those dogs, oh my god, the dog-splosion is real. And we're making a lot of bone crafts. So those bone craftsmen, which I called worthless, they're actually doing stuff now. How do you train dogs? I've never had to use this before. And do we have someone with animal taming? If not, make. No. I mean, we should probably get around to making more clothes. Yeah, I'll do that. It took me the longest time to figure out clothes, so I'll show you guys the process of making clothes, and if you already know, you can laugh at everything I'm bad at. Which I'm pretty sure you're already doing. Can't find hunting related, animal care, animal training, trapping. Hop to it. Okay. So first things first, you need a farmer's workshop. And we actually have quite a few workshops going on. Nice little center of industry. Still don't have that next king. Only one more king until our hall is complete. You know, this probably would have been better as a tavern, but it's more opulent as a hall, meaning that we have so much wealth that we don't even need to incorporate it into our dwarven happiness. And I've never done it before, so it was a nice little project. Yeah, I've been playing this game for years, but there's still things I don't understand and things I don't know. And to me, that's a great part of a game. That makes it fun, that keeps it fresh and interesting. I mean, artificial depth is not fun. I mean, adding mechanics that don't mesh well or seem pointless, that is not as good. But Dwarf Fortress, it's a great game. And I've enjoyed playing it all this time. And I probably will for many years to come. And I can't believe the guy's still updating. It's been around for what, 11 years? Yep. Ooh, shiny. We're digging this out because it looks shiny. Oh, there's only 4 of them. Unfortunate. Yeah, I'm kind of disappointed that I'm too lazy to look for more aluminum. Pretty sure it's... Okay, let's check the hills for aluminum. There's aluminum in there hills. Yeah, it's just a joke. It's the crazy miner from one of the campaigns I've been playing. And believe it or not, the Mage of the Ascension campaign is... Is that aluminum? It's aluminum! We've struck aluminum. Oh yeah. It's not a whole bunch, but it's more than we had previously, which means we can keep smelting aluminum, which means that we can still make aluminum coins. So I'm pretty sure native aluminum ore, native aluminum clusters, they always drop nuggets for you to smelt. So that is 10 nuggets, which I don't know how many bars that'll make, but it means we can make quite a few more coins. And the copper statue has still yet to be made. And one of the planters, he managed to sneak in and practice his weaponsmithing, so I had to disable it on him. Spear. You know, historically spears are how you outfit armies. I mean, Alexander the Great had a phalanx, I think it's called. He had a special way of doing that with the spearmen. I mean, he had these super long spears that typically spearmen, they're there to... You don't want to run into a bunch of spears, so you try to find ways around them, or all sorts of interesting tactics developed with the spear. And it's pretty easy to make spearmen. You have to teach them how to march in formation, you have to teach them which end of the pointy end goes where. And it only takes a little bit of metal to stick on the wooden haft. So it's cheaper than swords. Swords, you don't really think about it a lot, but it takes a lot of metal compared to other things. I mean, with bows and arrows, you only need the arrowheads. With an axe, you only need the axe head, but the sword is a solid needle of metal. And no plants. Mash plants in the slurry. And, okay. Farmer's Workshop, because I still want to show you guys how to make clothing. Or bags, at the very least. My fortress always ran out of bags, and I never was patient enough to wait for the trades caravan to get around. So it was indispensable being able to make your own bags. And plus, milling makes the seeds, and Making the thread from the pigtails makes seeds where you can plant more. I mean, an uber good fortress person would make potash from ash, then use that potash to fertilize the fields. Which makes me wonder why we're not doing that. You know what? Let's try. Yeah, ash is actually an excellent fertilizer. Which is why when volcanoes erupt, or not really erupt, they just send up a bunch of ash into the atmosphere. It tends to be pretty okay for farming, but the thing is, too much ash means no sunlight, and if there was any plants buried before, it might be buried under so much ash so it can't sprout. And if gunpowder is ever implemented into the game, volcanic fortresses might be more interesting, because a lot of sulfur tends to accrue around volcanoes. So you can make gunpowder easier. Saltpeter, charcoal, and sulfur, I believe, is the recipe. Well, you can make charcoal from trees, sulfur is around volcanoes. Don't know how to get saltpeter. I know... Actually, really don't have an idea what saltpeter is used for or how to get it. Oh, they're still making meals. Oh, snap, another alcohol shortage. At least I caught it earlier. I think I did. And they're getting a lot of cooked food, at least in they can pray, so they should be able to survive without alcohol until we can make more. And we need more bags. But we're making a lot of silk. Which, okay, we probably need a clothes workshop now. And I only noticed the asymmetry here. We have a little space in between our workshop, and these, they don't. So it's a bit of annoying to me, but we'll survive. And okay, so the fortress is too busy to deal with the dogsplosion. Maybe we could export dogs. And for some reason they aren't training the kennels. Okay, if any of you guys know how to train the dogs to actually be useful to the fort, actually contribute to our wealth and welfare, please comment. I don't know how. I've never had to use it before. I've never even wanted to use it before. Okay. Let's fertilize the fields, which I'm pretty sure uses fertilizer. And I'm not sure. Why do we need a second field of sweet pods? These are dimple cups. These are query bushes. These are plum helmets. Okay, wheat. Pigtails. But what are you used for? Guess we'll find out. And the mayor. Copper sarcophagi. Okay, final king. The 15th king, and our current queen, I mean, is Ash Treaty. Ash Treaty channels, but she's worshipping a deity of war and fortresses. Interesting. So, actually, I did not realize this. Oh no, more kittens. We don't need catsplosion. Catsplosions are worse than dogsplosions because cats actually adopt dwarves, which means that the dwarf considers it a pet, but puppies actually have to be adopted by dwarves and dwarves have to adopt. But anyway, because we're making potash, we're making a lot of it. I hope that doesn't cancel. Yeah, it cancels the job. Frick. Okay. So make a lot more ash. Because I cut down the trees to see if that was causing the wind not to work, and it turns out no. It's just Iron Bark doesn't have wind. Iron Bark has so many things going for it, but wind unfortunately is not one of them. Back to my interrupted train of thought. So our queen worships a deity of war, and they've placed an extremely large order for weapons. And if you remember our Legends viewer a while ago, more aluminum. That means we've been going to war with a certain goblin civilization almost pretty regularly. So I'm wondering, is this us gearing up for war? Because if so, we might get a large influx of refugees next migrant wave. I mean, if they are gearing up for war, that's kind of cool. Okay, just getting all this native aluminum that we can find in this hill. Well, it's more of a mountain than a hill. Don't make mountains out of molehills. Okay. But I really like the systems that are in place. You have miners which dig out your fort and get more resources. You have all sorts of these craft dwarves that add wealth and make it so your dwarves live easier. You have the planners. It's a very nice little flow chart system. And let's get more of that. We're making more aluminum. Okay, so this is aluminum and the rest are opals. Opals are a lovely stone. The thing about opals is they're only as pretty and shiny as they are with moisture. Some migrants have arrived. Neat! So, back to opals. You need moisture, so if you wear them, they absorb the moisture from your hands. And, there was the story about opals and fire, how they protect you from fire or they die in fire. But it's really just the opals drying out. Reminds me of how you're supposed to properly call rust. It's hydrated iron oxide. And to me, that's kind of cool. No, we don't want billion. We want aluminum. Okay. I'm still surprised a dragon hasn't swooped in or something, but I guess that's what you get for settling on an island. And being absolutely terrified of any danger whatsoever for the first YouTube playthrough you're trying out. Yeah. I mean, the person actually recommended that we try out a volcano fortress. And I go, yeah, sure, that sounded cool. But I also chose it because islands tend to be very safe locations. And what the heck is that? Giant king cobra and our fisher dwarf. And if you'll notice, this season has been a very good fishing spot for us. We have a lot of food, so our dwarves are unlikely to starve. However, in a bit oblivious when it comes to alcohol. So let's make a clothes making workshop, because I keep forgetting about clothing that I wanted to show you guys, but it is getting done. Yeah. Our fortress has a lot of character, actually. I mean, just look at our workshop center of industry, which leads to our hall of history and our burial area, a little far away. I mean, I just picture with me for a moment. An engraved hallway passing by your forefathers and kings. Then you go by, to your left, a hall of history. To your right, the dwarves that fell before you. Even though it was my fault that they dehydrated. And then you keep going on, engraving of your fort and your civilization's history into your temple. Then you ascend, and light pours in from the gemmed windows and the sunroof above. Then you go to the temple dedicated to the deity of our queen. Almost poetic in a way. And I think volcanoes smell kind of bad because a lot of sulfur tends to get around volcanoes. And it is molten rock, and really hot stuff has a certain smell about it, you know? And it's probably really hot and uncomfortable to work there. But I will not let these dwarves go. And make more aluminum coins. Because believe it or not, even though we are pretty much trading away so much of our wealth in coins, we are still considered a bank. Because it's been recognized by our civilization, it's been dedicated to the deity of wealth and trade, and it's been put into circulation. If all that doesn't make it a bank, I don't know what will. And let's make some more pots to store food. And let's make some more barrels. Have any of you played the Bard's Tale? There's this character, when you break barrels, he goes, "No, don't break my barrels." And then he goes, "Hey, I'll pay you to break other people's barrels." Let's make bone gems. And more bone crafts. And do we have a clothes making? Ooh, 17 more dwarves. And it looks like not a single one of them is a clothes maker. We have wax workers and bookbinders, but no clothes makers. So let's make the shearer a clothes maker. Their clothes are going to suck, but that is a small price to pay to make bags. Okay, so what you do is you process plants. This pretty much turns the pigtails into thread. Spin thread, you have to have a shearer. You have to shear, then spin the thread. Gave me a headache, because I thought spinning thread means first you process plants, then you spin those plants into thread, but no, it doesn't work like that. And then those threads are probably going to be taken to the loom, and then turned into cloth, pigtail cloth. Then you take it to clothier shop to make clothes and bags. Neat little system. And more spears. Man. Oof. I keep forgetting that I'm not going to have to worry about a were hyena or something hopping in. Interrupted by giant king cobra. Oh dear. Oh dear. And that king cobra is camping. Only his tail is dented. Checking wounds. Okay. His name is Erush. Reports. The giant king cobra is fighting. Oh, one of our endless dog army is attacking it. Bites the fisher dwarf, bruising the muscle and bruising the right lung. Oh, it bruised the lung. Those are injected venom into the dog's dog blood. I love how these reports are made. Scratches. So I think the dog's dead. It's dead, Jim. Now, normally this is the time when someone would make a militia. And I think I'll save that for the next episode. Let me make a note of that. No, you know what? Thanks for watching. And we lost another dwarf to a giant king cobra. So, we're going to make a militia. We're going to kill that king cobra. And we are going to get them back. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed.